All right. Welcome, 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 everyone. Um, Comment Wahoo, hashtag Wahoo, if you can hear me. Just want to make sure the sound is coming through. Okay. Well, I'm going to, uh, I'm gonna welcome you all to this unique episode. Oh, thank you, Lorna, for the confirmation. Wahoo, there you go. Thank you, Madame Truffaut. Thank you. All right, awesome. Okay, well, you have been welcomed into the parlor. And like I said, this is going to be it's different, y'all. To say the least, it's a different one. So I think you'll be entertained. And let me show you my face. How about, how about we, yeah, here we go. Okay, so hello all. So much for being here. I am Lauren Brown, and of course, as always, welcome to the Lauren Brown channel, also known as our neighborhood. I like to do many things on this channel, and so to keep up, I'll be sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, turn on your notifications because we're going to keep coming at you with cool stuff. Today, going to be a very I've got a story for you all. So, uh, yeah, we'll get into it. Okay. So, this is a very special story time. And for this story time, I am going to be sharing with you all an original that I wrote. And it's really an experience. You know how you have an interactive, there are interactive um, video games or stories. Well, this is like that, but with a little less work on your part and a lot more on mine. Okay, so again, be sure that you've liked this video, and to anyone watching on replay, you want to be here because this is going to be it's going to involve you, the audience, and to those watching, just be near your keyboards if you can. All right, so this story is called Wrecked, an adventure story. Lauren Brown. Like that, I hesitated on my own name. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna set the mood for you all. Before I do, a little advisory. So today's story is an adventure. There's lots of material to cover, and if you want your comment given priority just to make sure that you're seen and you can participate, super chat is definitely going to be the way to grab my attention, as I will be zoned in. And also trigger warning for nervous travelers. And you know who you are if you are the type who continuously thinks of all the bad things that could happen. Um, this is a fun neighborhood, but still, you've been you've been warned. Also, don't you like that? Like my robe totally, it's not a robe, it's like a cardigan, totally matches the sofa. Should I just increase the contrast here and just disrobe? I think I'll do that. I might also need some more room for expressiveness as this story goes on. So gird your loins or ungird them if there's, and loins are just arms, not loins. Because I mean, honestly. All right, let's go. Oh, oh, right, yes. You'd think I remember this. So y'all, I basically realized that I'm about to throw you into a circumstance, and I thought I'd do something on an image of the, what is it? The QR code and basically update the QR codes that a OLB membership, that's us right here, as well as my TikTok. And if you look closely enough, the first one is somehow inspired by a cupcake in flames. Don't ask me why that came to mind. The second one is inspired by fireworks, I believe. Or was it horses? One of the two. And the last one is supposedly an instrument, a musical instrument. How any of that looked like that, I really couldn't tell you, but I just love the color. And I thought something upbeat again before we go into this narrative, which don't worry, I understand it's a Thursday. I'm not trying to make you like miserable for Friday. Yeah, I figured I'd add some color to your life. And yeah, don't ask me what I don't remember what that is, but screenshot and as well, scan the QR code. All right. So as you were mingling and you had your various appropriate beverages, we were chatting, and you were actually surprised to find that I had worked with all of you and your teams in advance to the right luggage and the right that you were styled and your luggage packed and essentially completely assisted in the process of preparing for what turns into an impromptu trip. Essentially, I am kidnapping you, but with your total volunteerism, or voluntarily. And right now you can just see different gentlemen are loading up these SUVs that we are going to be taking with us. And we are taking them to the airport. Now, again, all of the images in here, aside from, my face, are AI generated. So if anything looks weird, like 5 fingers, just fingers, not thumb, or things like that, do excuse. But this is AI trying to do its best. But imagine something like an Embraer or a Bombardier, right? Something that can hold, innumerable, we'll say, just for the fact that obviously more than 20 people will be watching this at some point in my life. Maybe if this is on here for 30 years, I don't know, whatever. And there's no way that all of us literally fit here, but for the sake of story, you are right here. You are collecting a wonderful margarita prior to climbing the steps and entering into your the jet that we are going to be taking. We have this wonderful destination that we're going to go to. We have to go a bit overseas, but look, we're prepared. And maybe it's a Challenger. Who knows? It could be a Challenger airplane. Who knows? But yeah, we're going to be going and traveling. It's going to be great. So let's get aboard, y'all. Let's get aboard. Are you on board? Okay. And do remember that as this is going to be a more involved story, I will not be able to monitor the chat. So do leave a super chat to have your comment noticed and to bring yourself to the front. All right. So all aboard, everybody. Your luggage, your suitcases have been packed. I hope you have your carry-ons with you. And of course, anything that you don't have, we can provide or have provided for you at the destination. So enjoy. And yes, let's y'all pick your seat. There are no middle seats here. So where are you choosing? Where are you sitting? Are you in the front near the pilot? Are you trying to talk to the pilot? Are you just enjoying your view and looking out over the wing? Or are you in the back, crashed out, completely sleeping and just like, whatever, I'll wake up when we get there. Yeah, this is, again, another AI-generated image of a private jet interior. There is essentially, it's rosewood lining or paneling, and the seats are an off-white or cream leather. And this is for anyone who's just listening. Although I hope you are near a keyboard and saying what you like and what you think, because in neighborhood I like when the group chats. Um, yeah, and the carpet is just a nice neutral. So just imagine a brightly lit plane, big round windows, and of course there's seating available for tables and um, combining tables and having a meal, that sort of thing. You are in the lap of luxury right now. Okay, so you have asked the attendant to prepare whatever specificities you need. There's an advanced person who made sure all of the things were on uh, on board, and so yeah, your favorite snack, your favorite beverages, your favorite foods. My coconut water. Sorry for the gulping. Oh, wait, one more, y'all. I'm not sorry for the gulping. That was delicious. I feel so hydrated. Okay. All right. So you're out here, and it's maybe been about 3 or 4 hours that we've been on this plane, just truly enjoying ourselves and looking forward to the vacation. I haven't said where we are going. That is part of the surprise. But just think of it as, your treat for being such an awesome neighborhood, right? But then, uh-oh, uh-oh, there's engine trouble. Now, someone might remember this scenario from a few weeks ago. And haha, you were an inspiration. There's engine trouble, right? So I chose really soft colors because I didn't want to make anyone, when they're looking at this, feel a little too jarred. But we've got one engine smoking and the other one is, we can still technically fly on one engine, but we can't really go anywhere. And some kind of emergency landing is going to have to take place. So the question right now is, are we flying around trying to find the nearest airport, or are we just risking it with landing at the closest beach? That's a tough decision that pilots have to make. Regardless of what AI you use, in the end, some of these big decisions, well, people are still very much necessary for them. So we just don't have enough fuel. So it looks like we're going to be making a beach landing, a little too fast, a little too hard, and uh-oh. But but the catch here is, this is a small island. This is probably somewhere out in the we're thinking Pacific. It's certainly not the Atlantic. And this is not inhabited. This is wild for all intents and purposes. And each of us is going to have to keep our wits about us as we experience the crash landing. Our plane is just shuddering, and we can hear subtle noises in the cockpit, but they are alarms going off. And thankfully, the way that everything but the fuselage has been affected, the angle plane is, it's almost like it were on a normal except for the sand and the broken wing. Uh, our pilots did an excellent job with what they had, but my goodness, we are now stranded. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So the question is, everyone, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because we were not supposed to be here. And everyone turns and asks me, what do we do now, Lauren? You brought us here. And I said, well, look, I didn't fly this thing into chaos. I have no idea what we do now. But, my thought is, number one, live, right? We're not going to panic. We're going to live. We're going to think about it. We're going to think, okay, what do we have? Is everyone here? Is everyone okay? You look to your neighbor, you tap them on the shoulder, like, you good, you good. Your neighbor looks at you, hey, are you okay? And everyone is you just hear the murmuration and the, oh my God, as everyone's just dealing with the shock of impact, and the fact that it's one thing to brace your head against the seat in front of you, and it's another thing to be just completely surprised and actually go through the experience, not just hear about it or read about it on a card. So Then scenarios. This is the part where you, the neighbor, oh my goodness, that was a very loud honk. This is the part where you, the neighbor, get to see what you're made of. So, scenario 1. You've crash landed on the island. You have 2 choices. This is day 1. Choice A, stay and set up camp and help the wounded. That's A. Stay, set up camp, help the wounded. Or B, go explore the nearby beach to find food. So, that's the question. That is what I wonder. What are you doing? What are you picking on day 1? You've essentially, remember now, this is the wreckage that you just came from. Our pilots, thankfully, are still here and well trained. They do go through safety testing, and they are required to keep their skills up. So we're not dealing with amateur hour. But again, no one is expecting to be marooned at most points in their life, right? So what are you? Are you a survivor, or are you crying, and are you focusing on A, setting up camp and helping the wounded? Someone might have sprained their ankle. Someone might have, bashed their head into something just with the impact. Somebody could have, broken a little pinky finger. Nothing too gory and gruesome, just, owies and oohs. And the flight attendants are also there trying to get everybody safely out of the plane. And so you're now you are thinking ahead, going, all right, well, I'm alive. I checked. So I got to do something. I got to have a plan. Madame Truffaut, you said, good thing I packed a case of duct tape, your sesame knife, and solar chargers. Well, look at you prepared. I don't know why your assistant figured you'd want it, but I guess they know you well enough and they knew to put it in the bag. All right. Well, I don't know what you picked, but you're about to find out what happened based on your results, or based on the thing you chose. If you chose A, to stay and set up camp, or B, go explore and find food. Ooh, go find some food, y'all, because nothing like crash landing somewhere you don't know to make you very hungry. Or not, but you definitely need to find food, because a lot of that stuff got destroyed in the crash. That was, I mean, there's stuff, but there's not enough. So, all right, well, I'm going to read for you all what happens. All right, if you chose A, you gather what fabric you find in everyone's luggage, the plane. So A, again, remember, is the set up camp and help the wounded. So yes, you gather what fabric you can in everyone's luggage. Plane's shredded life raft, because of course that had to be how that happened. You collect branches and fallen palm leaves, and together everyone creates, and by everyone I mean everyone who picked A, creates 3 makeshift lean-tos against tree trunks that sleep 6 people total. So it's not huge. It's what you're able to kind of just configure, As well, someone tries to start a campfire for the return of food. Look, there's optimism. People said, yes, some of our crew went and chose B. So let's start a bonfire. Unfortunately, this person sets one of the lean-tos on fire and also burns their hand. So now we only have 2. 4 people are sleeping now, just 4, with 1 added injury, the burn. Darn it. I mean, it just could not be perfect, could it? Well, let's see what happens for the people who chose to go and forage for food. So if you chose B, you scavenged 2 coconuts, which are barely enough liquid for the injured passengers, let alone everyone who more or less made it out of that crash okay, right? And you have 1 bunch of overripe bananas. So basically, if you're thinking a bunch of bananas, like what you see at the grocery store, remember how they actually come off of the tree. We won't get into the whole science of bananas, but essentially imagine like 10 or 12 of those in one like layered big bunch, right? Of those handfuls. So that's what I mean when I say a bunch, the island true off the tree bunch, not the store bought, 5 in a hand bunch. So you get one bunch of overripe bananas, meaning they fell off the tree and they've been there for a while. So they were found on the sand. You bring this back to the group. Okay, we've got 2 coconuts and we've got a bunch of overripe bananas. Everyone eats a banana. Literally, there's one for everyone, more or less. And everyone ends up with food poisoning. So darn it, that wasn't so successful. That didn't work out too well. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. We're having a tough day one, but when you consider everyone literally just crashed, uh, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good for just trying to survive what you thought was supposed to be a fun vacation. But listen, sometimes you need a misadventure to have an adventure. Okay, I'm gonna pause real quick. You call, let me know, was it A or was it B for you? And I'm gonna try and see uh, 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 how y'all are doing. Okay. Oh, Jason and Gina, I see you. Hello, welcome. What does this say? I've been having your left ears. Oh, okay. Joy Armour, I see you've been having a bit of a tough one. No stressing, no stressing. Do the best you can. Um, window seat, that's great. That's great. And I'm glad you like the plane. I mean, don't we all? What does this mean, Madame Truffaut? You say I know how to land. All right. All right, everyone's really all right. Lorna, you chose to stay and set up camp. Evening, Joyce. Glad to have you here too. All right. Okay. Madame Truffaut, I would choose A. You'd go through the plane and try and find your bags. It would help organize the ones who remain. We would all pitch in. Look at you get taken charge. I told you, it's got some smart people in it. All right, let's keep going. Now we're on day 2. You've either slept in the sand and woken up with bites from sand mites, or you are awakened by your growling stomach. So what do? Here are your objectives on day 2. All right, so A, you can focus on food. The plain snacks were finished last night because somebody was very hungry, and the whole thing of we just nearly survived our passing collectively, and therefore we need stuff to keep our blood sugar level. So the food was finished last night. I mean, they were just snacks. It wasn't enough. Now it's coconuts, fish, other fruits, hopefully, and fresh water. Find fresh water. Because remember, it's those little bottles you get on the plane. And I don't think like yachts that the average plane comes with a small desalination plant. So you're going to have to look for it or figure it out yourself. Right? So are you on agenda A, food? And here's agenda B. Work with the team that's trying to build more lean-tos and figure out a plan to alert the world that you are marooned. You are on a beach somewhere. Who knows where? You weren't exactly looking at the map before chaos happened. You were happily, chugging your margarita, virgin or not, and, out here with the best of them, laughing it up. As was I. And, I know for me, I'm so, whew, y'all. For me, when it came to the choices, and I know I'm reading this after the considering I wrote it, I'm pretty sure you can guess that I know what the choices are. Yeah, I definitely would be the one that is going out and trying to forage. And I definitely would have found the 2 coconuts. I don't know that I'd have brought the bunches of bananas back because I'm aware of what overripe fruit from the floor is, not always the right choice. Basically, if you don't see, like, birds eating it, don't. Don't go after it. Like, they know better than you. They know better than us, right? Okay. So, alright. I need this feedback to be more. Why does this mic not give me good feedback? Sorry, y'all. I'm just gonna check something real quick. Hmm. I don't know why. All right, we're not gonna test it now. We're just gonna deal with it and adjust it for the next time. Okay. So yeah, work with a team that's trying to build more lean-tos and figure out a plan that you are marooned. That is the question. For first objective, I definitely would be on food. But I got to tell you, when everyone starts thinking about how do we get ourselves out of this, I want to be a part of that. Partially because if the plans are terrible, I want to know so I know what to mitigate for myself and anyone who's smart enough or willing to listen. You never have other people make your decisions that affect your life for you without your direct involvement. That's a bad idea, you know. Okay, so depending on what you picked, we've got different results. So the group is doing a little bit of a splitting up again on an island we don't know, that we've never been to. There are no other people. Yep. Okay. Well, let me tell you something. If you chose A, you spent hours trying and climbing coconut trees. And this is for the food individuals out here. Hours trying to climb coconut trees. You end up with massive hand and leg friction burns, right? Because if you're practicing and you're climbing and you're holding and you don't really have climbing gear now, it's just you, your sweaty palms, and compression and wood. Wooded, um, is it bark? We'll call it bark, y'all. Yeah, you end up with these friction burns as you keep slipping and falling down the tree. You tried throwing something heavy. This was everybody using their noggins, and I like this. So you said tools. I'm going to do the thing humans do and use tools. You tried throwing something heavy at the tree, but it worked to some extent. Now you have 5 coconuts, raw cheeks, as in your face cheeks. I mean, unless you climb the tree very differently from what I know of. And yeah, arms and legs, stomach as well, because your shirt gets pulled up as you slide down, and a sprained ankle because you did fall. So if you're focusing on food, you did sprain your ankle. You brought back 5 coconuts and a sprained ankle. You all, as food was, people were kind of going for food in different ways. There were the hunter gatherers, right? So the hunter side said, you also joined a group of 4. So it was 2 gals and 2 guys, basically the spearheaders, who used rocks to whittle. So you spent about an hour or 2 whittling, because some of you not how to whittle with a rock, finding a rock sharp enough, etc. Thick branches into spears. And by thick, I mean like this, a diameter that's not insanely thick, but something that isn't a twig, right? To basically, yeah, try and spearfish. So, congratulations. You got 3 fish after 6 hours of trying. One of them is the size of a goldfish. The other 2 are edible though. So, good on you. You brought back 2 fish and 5 coconuts. And 1 little goldfish that you just needed the extra number. You weren't willing to say you didn't have 3 fish. So yeah, you arrived back at your camp with the spoils. Congrats to you. Congrats. Now, if you chose B, well, that's by the way, If you chose B, you were in the work with the team that is trying to build more lean-tos and figuring out a plan to alert the world. Tuned. Not to be confused with being a maroon, which is a Jamaican uh, situation and very cool. Google that one if you don't know. You'll enjoy it. All right. So if you chose B, here's what happened to you. Oh no. Oh no. You ran out of clothing for tent fabric, right? I mean, there's only so much luggage. The trip is not supposed to be very long. It was supposed to be a whirlwind, a nice little weekend away, something exciting, but not like terribly disturbing to your schedule. Um, yeah, you ran out of clothing and resorted to ripping your shirts into strips of cloth to then tie green palm fronds together and create small tents. And you're basically being eaten alive by mosquitoes, but are looking forward to more food from the group that went foraging and hunting because you have no idea what's been happening for the last 12 hours with the hunting group, the hunter-gathering group. Also, if you chose B like I did, someone managed to get a bonfire going. Now, more people enter the brush to collect wood, twigs, snapping stuff off of trees. But of course, the idea is if it's fallen and dried, that might be a better choice. But at the same time, some green plants smoking up the fire is not necessarily a bad idea. So that's another thing happening. And for the planners, basically, you just rediscovered what we already knew, unfortunately. The plane communication equipment is down. Now, the crew, so basically the people who were manning the plane, to put it in extreme layman's terms, are not, they're not working on the tents. They're going and they're actually gathering rocks. And why is this? To be able to write, they're gathering rocks through the forest with the wood collectors, so those who are saying, let's add to the bonfire. And this is in hopes of writing save ourselves or save our souls, SOS, on the sand. Oh, wait, it keeps going. Because if you chose B, yes, you went into the forest to gather twigs, branches, and fallen wood for the bonfire, but while there, you were nearly bitten by a venomous snake. Great, now you have that to worry about. You went into the tree cover as well to collect rocks for your rescue SOS signal. And you find many medium-sized rocks, which is great, right? You carry them by tucking them into your shirt, which is tucked into your shorts. You're going, listen, I don't have a bag. Why don't we just put the things in there, right? As there are just too many to hold. Turns out you're actually bitten up by ants, but still, you bring the rocks back safely because, wow, you hero, you. And no, I did not write that to call myself a hero. I didn't even remember that part about the ants. But look at you, mosquitoes, sand mites, almost being eaten by a vicious snake, and and ants. Still, you're building things and bonfires and hoping to write "Save Us" on the sand. Lastly, you discover there is not enough food for more than a bite per person, as in Team A has come back and they have their, 5 coconuts and 2 edible fish? Three fish. Let me not discount that small fish. Guppies matter. I didn't say guppy lives. I just said guppies matter. Yeah, there's not enough food a bite per person, and the last alcohol is being used to clean cuts and bruises. So you're not drowning any sorrows. Yeah, you have no idea what tomorrow brings. Nor does anybody else, whether you're an A or B. Y'all, what did you do? What did you pick? Duchess of Success, hello. I see you're just passing by to say hi. You saw us live. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You say you are amazing with a heart exclamation point. Well, hearts right back at you. And I hope your stuff is all good. I imagine it is by now because you're too cool to be down for long, right? Okay. So thank you for stopping by. So yes, y'all, did you, Lorna, excellent comment. This is becoming like Lord of the Flies. And remember, if while I'm reading, because I am able to check. You do want your comment highlighted. Your super chats are the way to go because there's a lot here, y'all. There's a lot going on here. So don't have to be big, but it'll make me see you. All right. So let's see. Yeah. No drowning your sorrows because it is what it is. Boom. Stay tuned. Now we're on to day 3. Oh boy. Guess what? You're hot. You're sunburned. Everybody smells terrible. Your plane has been scrapped for parts. And yeah, no one has slept because those with food poisoning still threw up loudly throughout the night. Unfortunately, those bananas really, something was wrong with them. And very likely they'd been there way too long. Everyone is trying to boil water in the scavenged coffee pot. So, the little tiny ones that are in the galley of the airplanes. Yeah, they're using that to boil the water and distill some fresh water via y'all and up. I already knew about reverse osmosis and like water desalination plants that you can, again, small scale, or for like a boat. You're in like ports will have, and certain locations will have them as well, depending on how well connected to the local, plumbing system they are. It's really watching a survivalist show. And I can't remember his name. It's the one who truly does the surviving and the survivalism. And he gives you such great tips and like shows you. Like a few times he wasn't able to complete. This is an old show, so I think it was like early 2000s. And a few times he wasn't able to complete a particular survival task, like being, stranded in the cold Arctic North. He was like truly in situations of like hypothermia, or the crew who basically leave him there by himself but monitor him essentially said, yeah, if we leave him here he will die, so we have to protect him from his own ambition. That man teaches you some stuff. And like I actually learned about the evaporation because it wasn't salt water. It wasn't salt water that he was distilling, or it could be, there's reverse osmosis, there's evaporation, distillation. They are kind of is the same, but there's a whole thing when it comes to desalination and the chemical process and the science of it all, guys. If anyone can remember the name of that gentleman, I would love for you to comment him, because I honestly just can't remember. But I think he saved many a life with his episodes, because it isn't just about drinking uh, things out of a teacup. This guy truly is in the danger and using his skills to work out of it. Oh my gosh, this will be one of those 3 a.m. memories. Like, it's him. This is his name. All right. Okay, let me bring us back to our story here. Day 3. We are on day 3. So no one slept because those with food poisoning threw up loudly. And everyone is trying to boil water in the scavenged coffee pots to try and distill some fresh water via heat evaporation. You've been scratching all night. I mean, remember, you got bitten up and everything. Ugh. And the thought of a venomous snake crawling on you has kept you from relaxing. So essentially you're wired. You're on edge. You and everyone, all of us, the neighborhood, the flight, everybody's on edge. The flight crew, they have done their best, but they are humans just like the rest of us. And they are now also quite stressed and terrified. So objectives for today: focus on food. More therapists here, citrus, more coconuts. then some fish, hopefully, fresh water, and gather more. That says green, but gather more green plants. Because, of course, there's this thought of, well, we can use it for shelter, we can use it for improvised sleeping surfaces. And, for those of us who are into basket weaving arts, basket weaving, as things do need to be collected. We are a very efficient and very industrious neighborhood here. So again, this is, I'm going to quickly remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you have all of your notifications turned on so you can see and hear and know when we have new adventures coming up. There is so much more coming, I promise. You don't know, and it's going to be fun. Hey. All right. So then the second objective after food is collect firewood for the night light. Basically, now that we know that we've got venomous snakes and other wildlife, maybe protection is important, and maybe having a flame might help. So we've got to go through the forest and look for that. Also, that says hello, but I mean help. The team gathering pots of shredded metal from the plane. It says pain, but I do mean plane. But you're also gathering it from your pain and saying, you know what, we're going to take this pain and we're going to push it into something productive, and we're going to get random curved pieces of plastic and metal and cups and plates and put them out, because we're hoping to collect fresh rain water. This is the tropics, and that could help a lot. So what are you choosing? Are you staying and helping firewood and home, setting up stuff for water? Or are you out here saying, let's get some more fruit, because the food poisoning was not enough, and the leg and face and stomach burns and rashes were not enough, and I need to redeem myself for the measly goldfish I caught. Do I sound like I'm feeling this personally? Just like, I gotta redeem myself. Okay, so which would you choose? Y'all, let me know. And again, if I'm missing you, it was, no, Lauren, it was this one. I won't say his name because I don't want to, badmouth anyone, which is such a Jamaican way of saying that phrase, or Caribbean way of saying that phrase. But it was a different, I think it might be, if I can look up Lestrude, let's see. Let me see. That wasn't a note. That was not a note. That was more like, I don't know if has watched the episode of SpongeBob, but I need it. That's what that's inspired by. Okay, let's try. Oh my gosh, Lorna, are you about to save me from having to wake up at 3 a.m.? It was Lestrade. He really was like, all right, y'all. So we love to do a little exploration when I get some information. No rhyme intended, but I'm totally accepting it. But totally accept. All right. So, and is it Etobicoke? Etobicoke? I know they have a really good art school. This is he was born in Etobicoke or Etobicoke, or y'all tell me how to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. Toronto, Canada. And Survivor Man Lestrade. Yes, I do think the show was called Survivor. It was one of the best shows. So this is what he looks like. Let me see if I can enlarge him on the image on my phone. There you go. That's him. Excuse the thumb, but if I there you go. Here you go. That's him. And he Survivor Man really did do some surviving. He do be surviving. So let's see, what has he done? Why did Survivor Man end? Probably because he said, I'd like to actually have a vacation. Okay, listen to this. So it's someone actually asks this. This is, one of those instant questions where they like an algorithm like pops up with some of the most read, I guess, or searched for elements. So why did Survivor Man end? Survivor Man can be considered a sequel or spinoff of Stroud's earlier project Stranded, which I also saw. A 5-part series that was shown on the Canadian Discovery Channel in 2001. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Stroud paused the Survivor Man series. Sorry, y'all, if you heard that. There was literally nothing I could do. He paused the Survivor Man series due to what he described as the significant physical toll of videotaping each episode. You guys, when you're really doing it and it's not fake, the stress, I don't know how he did it. I really don't know. And I don't know how his wife managed to deal with, wow, it was a lot, right? It was a lot. And so he is a Canadian survival expert, filmmaker, and musician, best known as the creator, writer, producer, director, cameraman, and host. Talk about hats of the series Survivor Man. He was named Chief Scout by Scouts Canada, and this is on Wikipedia for anyone who wants to read along, on November 22nd of 21. And he had a brief career behind the scenes in the music industry, then became a full-time wilderness guide. I wonder if being in the music industry made him feel prepared for the wilderness. Oh, wow. Wilderness guide, survival instructor, and musician based in Huntsville, Ontario. He's produced several survival-themed programming for the Outdoor Life Network, the Discovery Channel, the Science Channel, and YTV. Their survival skills imparted from watching Stroud's television programs have been cited by several people as the reason they lived through harrowing wilderness ordeals. Y'all, I am telling you, do not sleep on Lestrade. Lestrade, and that is or Les Stroud, sorry. That is LES, and then Stroud is STROUD. Yeah. Cool. Really and truly. So, the objectives of fruit, food, fish, or firewood to protect you, and trying to find a new way to collect rainwater. Now, did you pick A or did you pick rainwater? All right, well, if you picked A, here's what happened. You broke off into teams. The people collecting coconuts, bananas, and fruits went one way. Those who fish and throw rocks at tropical birds went another. At day's end, you've collected 12 coconuts, 3 massive bunches. What I described a bunch as massive bunches of bananas using metal edge scraps from the plane, and as in to help shear off the I mean, it's heavy enough, but you know what I'm saying, because you got to get that fruit down. And 1 papaya, but guess what? 9 fish. So tonight, feast. Hey, does my shirt look like the color of hot sauce? Because like tonight. Anyway, it's just my favorite. That's all. No big deal. I'm talking about the color of my shirt. Although watching people suffer from too much hot sauce is also entertaining. I can't lie. So if you were not part of the foragers and hunter-gatherers, then you chose B. And if you chose B, you have laid out so many curved and round bowls and bowl-shaped objects that the party, meaning all of us, because it was a party, must step carefully. Literally, you have turned camp into, I don't want to use that metaphor, but you can understand a field full of things that go boom, but I'm not going to actually go further in that. And you joined the SOS team. So that's the team who were laying out the rocks to make the massive beach long save our souls or save ourselves sign. And you have spelled S and half of 1 O, the only O in the sand. So, I mean, productive. Hello. And the fire tenders, those who are trying to build the bonfire, keep it going, and make it a little smoky, right? Have managed to keep the flame. Keep the flame alive, y'all. I hope you did that for Valentine's Day. Keep the flame and added some leaves to the pile for smoke. I don't know about you, but this is looking like a really productive day. It seems like each day of misery that passes is actually quite our skills grow. Our skills are. I don't know. I think you should be proud of yourself. That's my thought. All right, let me see what y'all are saying. Joy Armore, you say you'd still be driving your 24 hours. You don't like flying on planes. Listen, how would you even have been on the trip then? Because I don't believe in forcing anyone to do something they don't want. But you know, I guess you were secretly led on. You weren't told somehow. But I promise you, I would never drag you into onto a private jet you don't want to be on, ever. um, Sounds, Madam Truffaut, Lauren, sounds like you don't want us to get off this island. Did you take out a policy on each of us? Ha ha ha. Did I? Y'all, I'm stuck here too. I'm stuck here too. Oh no. No, I'm stuck here too. Trust me. I'm in as much of the crap as I've gotten the bites. Remember, I was on the team that found the snake and also got ants all up and down. Would you? I, mm, mm. Oh, cool update. Les Stroud, and it's Les, right? Lestrade is a Sherlock Holmes character. Les Stroud now does a show on PBS about foraging for food in the wild. Lorna Williams, thank you for the updates. I will definitely be watching. And hey, you see, if you all had just watched Les before this happened, you'd be so much more prepared for this moment when we are all on this beautifully deserted island with these dangerous things. And still perfecting our skills at hunting tropical birds apparently, because not a bird was caught. We've got fish, we've got bananas and coconuts and one papaya. Okay, so let's see. All right, so that's the outcome of day 3. But let's talk about the nighttime. The night is the right time to talk about what happens in this story. All right, so night of 3. So night 3. Everyone exhausted. My God, I mean, all the laying out of this and that, catching of this and that, and throwing and leaping and jumping and taking care of the people who are injured. It's a full-time gig being marooned. So everyone's exhausted, but more hopeful than before. There's a few small bites of food to go around. Yes, yes. And also papaya will make you happy. Ripe papaya will make you happy. And also it's good for your skin. But we're not going to get into that right now. That's a different skincare discussion. So some discuss how they can keep the fruit seeds, right? So we're getting these really intelligent people here, and we have some people in the neighborhood who actually deal with agriculture, if I remember correctly. So if you're here, do comment and let us know. So some discuss how they can keep the fruit seeds to potentially cultivate with rainwater. Don't you see how it's all just coming together like a little commune? Some giddily lay stones for a sky signal. That's the SOS team. They're like, yeah, da 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 da, SOS. Oh man. Yeah, it's all about perspective, Madame Truffaut, for sure. And others drink the last of the freshly boiled water, their stomachs churning like everyone else's. Basically, at this point, their stomach would be generally completely empty. They're not dealing with the original food poisoning, but that thing called hunger exists and they feel in it. So we can only boil so much water and evaporate, right? So water and it evaporate into a catchment that you then have to. We won't get into the chemistry. but I'm actually so into, I mean, in a Breaking Bad way. Okay. All right. So yeah, others, yep. Injuries persist. New lacerations from poorly wielded improvised knives and punctures from inaccurate spear throwing and fish. Survival is on the mind. The success of not completely starving and keeping the smoke signal rising. Something though. It's hope. Everyone lays on their sleeping mats, and this is night 3, on their improvised sleeping mat or against trees, right? Because we've got lean-tos, a whole bunch of nature and some torn up clothes, right? So they lay on their improvised sleeping mats or against trees to state that we like to call denial. Now, if you know about holla, if you know what it means to pretend that you don't got your means, holla back. If you know what it means to be on a road and yet never have been deep, holla in the comments, y'all. And if you can't comment, just nod your head because there are people who understand, but also know when it comes to success. Sometimes you need a healthy dose of denial because staring at your circumstances in the face constantly brings no joy, no hope. As some people say, too much introspection can cause some depression. So, y'all, you didn't ask me for this unsolicited advice, but I'm just telling you when you want to be happy, sometimes you need denial. You need denial long enough to get to the next thing that is a reality of something good. And no, that's not from anything other than the story in the moment. That's my gem for the minute, because who knows what'll happen in the next few. I don't. All right. Oh, so have you all been in a state of denial before? I'm trying to think. Um, I'm sure I've definitely used denial to get me through. Uh, you pretty much, I remember in undergrad, I used denial to get through every single like season. Um, I just told myself, look, it's not that big a deal. I'm not gonna remember this in 5 years, and I'm not stressed. I'm fine. Like I said, I will totally come back and not fall asleep. I enjoy being in the stacks and studying till X a.m. I love this. I love it. I love it. And you do that thing where you tell yourself you love it, and you just like, if I just keep believing I'm happy about it, I'll get through it. And it worked. So I'm not saying I was a perfect student. Please don't even take it as that. But I'm just saying denial will sometimes you need a healthy dose, and it ain't remotely adverse to human survivalism. Instead, it's actually part of, I think, what makes us survive. Denying that you can't is the same as insisting that you can sometimes. All right, so this is night 3. You guys, you done with the suspense? You want to hear what happened day 4? I mean, I can riffing, so I mean, I need just a little comment, somebody tell me. Also, I definitely need to drink some water, so how about that? Y'all comment and let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're feeling about your denial. And yeah. Yeah. I like to call it strategic denial. And this is in response to a comment written by Lorna Williams, where she says, yeah, denial's a river in Egypt, but the more you deny, the longer it takes you to find a solution. That's absolutely true. I think strategic denial is really what it's all about. You got to pick and choose your moments when focusing on reality is productive and when it's just antithetical to moving forward, because a lot of things can affect momentum, and one of them is our emotional state, which I think as human beings we can in our like need to be productive forget to kind of pay attention to, um, and sometimes to really get that sometimes to really get the that sense of like start the engine, to kind of like hit the gas pedal. Denial is it. Sometimes you just got to say, oh no, I have nothing is wrong. But yeah, if it's something about like major stuff, remember, what did we do when we first crash landed? I mean, the thought was shelter, food. What do we do? Right. So in those moments, that's getting into action. But I mean, imagine if you denied that there were ants and snakes. Yeah, that'd be dangerous. I mean, if you denied that you needed shelter, how UV soaked your skin would be without a lean-to or the cover of some palm fronds. All right, so let's go to the next one. And I think this should make a few people feel some good kinds of ways, or not. I mean, how you like to be awakened is the question. Day 4 morning. The sun has not even begun to rise when the loud blaring blast of a far too near foghorn stirs you from your sleep. Ooh, that is a lot. Startled awake with the rest of your party, you jump to your feet, hoping to eye the threat before you can become its next target. Within the hazy darkness, a silhouette forms out over the water. Your mind thinks you may in fact still be dreaming. Only when you hear the quiet and then a slightly louder murmuration of your fellow passengers, the neighborhood, do you recognize the thing you are seeing for what it is? A giant, subscribe to this channel, y'all. A giant cargo ship on the horizon. What? Members of our party begin to wow, sorry, y'all. That took me by surprise. Much like our party here on this beach. Members of our party begin to frantically scream and wave wildly at the oncoming vessel. Oncoming vessel. A few members even grab some of the firewood to wave like torches at the cargo ship, wanting to ensure their rescue, but it is all unnecessary. The ship's captain saw the smoke billowing for miles and has been on its way for the last few hours, detouring from its typical commercial route. Yes, it said, you know what, people over money for this. Survival in human life? Yeah. Detouring from its typical commercial route as it alerted, local authorities that they may have a shipwreck or have spotted the downed plane reported missing only a few days ago. So while you were in denial, that smoke signal had been seen. Hey, sometimes denial just keeps you going long enough for something else to happen, right? All right. That's another gem. Sorry, I don't know. They just drop. I'm not trying. It's that's so extra. But I hope you pick up what I'm putting down. All right. So the massive vessel anchors a mile offshore. The water is too shallow for it to pull in closer. Ooh. All right, let's continue. Day 4 morning continued. As the sky begins to become golden amber with the promise of sunshine, a smaller vessel, once astride the ship, is lowered via crane. down into the water. Before long, the smaller vessel is speeding toward the stranded passengers. The neighborhood, y'all. Pilots and crew. Though their throats are hoarse from poorly cleaned water and little food, every member of our party is now upon their feet, up on their feet or foot, depending on their injuries, crying out with happiness at the sight of their rescuers. We hope rescuers, right? That's the assumption, y'all. That's the assumption. Why wouldn't we assume the best? Their rescuers, growing near by the second. When the sailors arrive, anchoring their boat mere feet from the shore, they call out to discover the injured and sick, as they would need to ensure their careful arrival onto the smaller vessel and the cargo ship further out. The conversation is not had in English, though, as this cargo ship is crewed by everyday citizens of their, of a local nation. And among our international party, because here, this neighborhood, I mean, we have people from all over. And hello, y'all. And thank you to those who are watching in the morning. Buongiorno to those of you in the AM right now. And good evening to those of you in the PM right now. And if you are in some other time zone or other place, I don't know where on earth you are. You might be in space. Listen, if you are with NASA, holla back. But also... Yes, someone in our neighborhood and in the neighborhood that I depict here, which is us, but fictive, so no real person, just the story. Someone is among our international party. There's a handful who can recognize the words and converse, making the rescue effort. The people making the rescue effort and the sailors' plans that much easier. Within a few hours, all of our party are aboard the cargo ship. Just because, again, some people got some real injuries. And they weren't all had from the crash. If you're constantly falling out of large trees, tall trees, a bone or two, a femur or two. So listen, but at least now we're in a massive cargo ship the size of a city where they have medical staff. Isn't that great? So within a few hours, all our party are aboard the cargo ship, having contacted local authorities and our loved ones. The ordeal is over, and we are very nearly home. The end. Fin. And scene. So I just wanted to say this really heartfelt message, which is, one, thank you all for reading/listening to this original story by me, Lauren Brown. If you enjoyed any part of this experience, be sure to check out my novels. Links are in the description. Also comment below how many injuries did you sustain based on your choices, A or B, over the course of this adventure. And what were your favorite and least favorite parts of the adventure? Now, I know for some of y'all, it was being on a plane. But guess what? We weren't on a plane the whole time, right? Like the video, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and enjoy my novels. And I will see you in the next one. I'll go away just so you know what they look like. Thank you again. And they are in the description, links to my adventure series, Rafe and Rose. The Deathler is the first book, and the second book in the series is Rafe and Rose World on Fire. They are about teenage turned adult. It's like it's more new adult than just young adult. Billionaires who they're diverse, they're global, they are like the neighborhood. I mean, they're y'all. They're us, y'all. And they get in the crosshairs of secret society who happen to potentially be up to no good. Potentially they have good motives, they're just bad methods. I mean, who knows? The question is, will they survive, and what will they do? And oh my gosh, cliffhangers abound. But if you enjoyed the narrative, the flow of this live, you can get another taste of that in my novels here. And they are for all ages. You can enjoy it and read it. And I mean, if you like fashion, we get into fashion. If you like sports, the books go into sports. I'm not kidding. Y'all know how diverse I am as far as my interests. That's in the book. You know, if you know me and you get a, I mean, literate color is orange. Like these characters, Rafe and Rose, they are twins, they are siblings. So you see family dynamics, you see relationship, you see, you know, it's got a little bit of something for everybody. It's like a really great Netflix show where you just keep coming back. And yes, book 3 is in the works because it's always in the works. It might take me a few years to write a book. I'm not talking about this next one. I'm just saying in general. But when I say they're coming, they're coming. And when I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. And y'all know I don't like to disappoint. So uh, enjoy your new obsession. If there's anything that you wish it had, don't be surprised if you see it in book 3. Hey, oh man. Let me do a quick review. Um, I just want to see. I just want to see your faces. Um, And yes, the books, you can get the physical version paperback, and you can also do Kindle. And like I said, working on the audiobook, because once you read the book, you'll definitely understand it is a cast of characters. It's globetrotting, it's international, there are multiple languages spoken and translated. You'll completely confused. But I mean, if you like the spy genre, the thriller genre, adventure, romance, if you like comedy, again, everything I love, I shoved in there. If you like commentary, social commentary, yeah, it's in there. Yeah, so let's get these final comments, and like I said, the link is in the description. I thank you in advance for enjoying it. I hope you have fun. I did write it with the intent to make you laugh at certain points in the novels. Additionally, I hope that tonight's adventure, while we took you for a ride, I hope you feel that you were brought back to some form of safety. And gosh, man, I look forward to seeing you all in the next one, and just everything that's, as I said, everything that's like this channel is becoming. I'm really happy. I know it seems like, hey, okay, things are different. She's not posting what she used to post. And again, I thank you all for your commitment. Thank you for your Lorna, you say thanks, Lauren. No injuries in the story. You made it out without an injury. Good for you. Awesome. Um, but yeah, you know, I see y'all. I see the real ones, and I thank you very much. And I promise that I'm going to be doing everything I can to make this as exciting as it can be. And yeah, I wish you all well. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week, and a lot of happiness. And you know, from me to you, thank you. Remember to subscribe, like, share with your friends, and also we have a membership. So join channel membership. There are plans. I will see you in the next one. All right.